Get ready for fun. Get ready for laughs. Get ready to have a great day. Live from the KHOU 11 studios, it's Great Day Houston. And now here's your host, Deborah Duncan.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Great Day Houston. You know what this is?
What a wonderful world.
Welcome back to Great Day. It's a uniquely American form of music originating in African-American communities in New Orleans. It appeared to be unstructured and raw compared to classical music, but that's what caught people's attention worldwide. And like a good gumbo, there are several different ingredients that make up the jazz style of music. And here with a crash course in the various ways to swing your jazz, just in time for the Houston Jazz Festival, please welcome Shelley Carroll with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Shelley. By the way, let me just say you're an HSPVA alum.
That's right.
Okay,
Proud
we've got lots of great folks who've come out of that, come out of that school. Why is it so important for us to continue this legacy of jazz music, more so than just entertainment?
Well, one, because it's an American art form.
Yeah.
It's one of a true made in America, and it came together here. And also, educational-wise, it puts the whole music, we have classical music and jazz, and it's a part of where we're from and where we are,
Yeah.
you know, and it's very good for kids who want to connect. You know, it's great for math, it's great for all-around education.
Yeah,
Music,
you know, we always talk about people, hey, can you be on the same page at the same time? Sure. No, in this case, you're on the same note at the same time, and that's what makes beautiful music when people work together.
And it's a great way to learn history.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
You know, so.
Now, a lot of kids, millions of kids, had instruments in their hands when they were young and couldn't wait to get rid of them when they got away from home. Right? My brother played the saxophone for 15 minutes. I played the flute, and I told my parents, no, if you get me this brand new open hole, you know, B-flat flute, I promise I'll play in the symphony orchestra. No, I didn't. But that didn't happen. But what made you connect to it? Do you remember the first time you picked up an instrument and said, I like this?
I guess it's the first time, well, I wanted to play saxophone in junior high. All they had were oboes.
Oh,
so
good.
they gave me an oboe,
Yeah.
and I went home to my mother.
That's
I was
not
like,
sexy,
I wanted
is
a
it?
saxophone.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is that? I was like, I don't know. I don't want to play it. But, you know, that got me in PVA, though. I ended up playing oboe all the way up until there, and, you know, I wasn't a very good saxophone player then. So by playing oboe and saxophone, it got me into the High School for Performing Visual Arts. So
and to the point where you,
plus.
let me just brag on you for a second, you played with the Duke Ellington Band for 30 years.
Yeah.
You played with people like Sheryl Crow, Tony Bennett, Marie McGovern, Nancy Wilson, and lots of other famous people. And I always say this every time a saxophone player comes out. Luther Vandross used to say that he hated the saxophone. He's like, I hate the saxophone. That's what he told me. And I was like, why? How could you hate the saxophone? He says, because it competes with my voice.
Oh, okay.
Right? And it is one of the instruments that is like
close,
a voice,
yeah.
right?
That's true. That's very true.
Okay. We're going to have this jazz festival, and it's in honor of folks who helped to teach you this craft. Don Wilkerson, Arnett Cobb.
Yes, Don and Arnett were, when I was growing up here in Third Ward, they were the saxophone players. They were the stars.
Yeah.
And the Texas tenor, you know, is famous around the whole world. And they were two of the main musicians who I grew up listening to and who influenced me quite a bit. You know,
we
and I learned from.
have Irma Whittaker with us today, and she's the mother of Sebastian Whittaker. And Sebastian was someone who loved music as well.
Yes.
Recently passed away.
Yes.
But what did music do for him? He was also blind, right?
Yes.
What did music do for him?
Music was most of all a form of relaxation for him, as well as a training technique for him.
But he left his mark on jazz music.
Yes.
In the city.
Yes, he did. He left his mark, a very good mark, I must say, and he left a legacy.
Yeah. What types of things did he do? Because I think when people really make an impact in the community, they're not really gone.
Yes. No, he's definitely not gone. He was he was a mentor to so many others. He was an instructor, and most of all, he was a leader. Yeah. And this is one of the things that we are trying to make sure that continues, is the legacy that he left behind, his plan. And he was also very, very instrumental to others and concerned about other students.
Yeah.
That was his main thing, to make sure that he was teaching someone what he had learned.
Yeah, and for
Yes.
him too, what many would see as a handicap was not a handicap for him.
No, it was not a handicap. I never would let it be a handicap. There was one word in our house that we did not use, and that was the word can't. It was you will try.
Yes.
You will try. And to me, that was foundation for him. He dwelt on that. I never dwelt on telling him what you cannot do because you have no sight. We will use what you have, and we will survive.
Yeah.
And we did that. He was a survivor.
Well, this jazz festival will be in honor of him.
Yes.
The other thing that's great about jazz music, as I mentioned earlier, it's like a gumbo in terms of there's so many different genres that for a musician, I would imagine, it just gives you a lot of room to play.
Yes, it does, and to express yourself in many different ways.
Yeah. All right, let's go with the genre of Dixieland. What would Dixieland sound like?
Ooh, let me see.
Let me see. All right, so that's a little Dixieland. Another example of jazz is big band.
Big band. Let me do that again.
You know, it's funny when you play that. You can kind of imagine those of us who are a little older. But you can kind of imagine where the country was at that time, right?
Yeah.
With big band, after World War II, and then it just, and then you can look at kind of things like. Let's see, another one is progressive jazz. What's progressive jazz like?
It's more of a West Coast. It's when the cool Miles Davis, when they did the nice, cool things like.
A little easier. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, there's like fusion and smooth jazz that's kind of similar to that, and then ragtime. You got a little ragtime in you?
Well, that's it's kind of a piano. That's a piano
Yeah, I think the
style.
saxophone didn't really. Yeah.
Not really. I don't have any
Flute and piano.
ragtime.
Flute and piano. Right.
There goes some Scott
What's your
Joplin.
favorite genre of jazz to play?
My favorite genre, I guess, would be. No, I don't really have. I'm really a blues musician. Growing up in Houston,
Which are the roots of jazz.
It's
yeah.
the roots of jazz, yeah. And that's really my foundation. I started in church singing, and started in classical music, and then from there, blues was all around me. So.
Yeah.
I consider myself actually my gut a blues musician.
Yeah.
But I love
All right.
jazz.
This jazz festival is going to be amazing because
is.
we're gathering lots of folks. We have other folks who've graduated from HSBVA, people who've traveled around the world who are coming in to perform. So if you love jazz, the Houston Jazz Festival is Saturday from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the House of Blues. And I'm even going to sing a couple of songs out there.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to do it. It's summertime and the living is easy. You got something for me there? Those fish are jumping and the cotton's so high. Yes, it is. Hey, 4 lucky members of our studio audience are going home with tickets to the festival, and so we'll hand those out during the commercial break. So coming up, think of it as the Uber of instant delivery. We'll show you how good guys with pickup trucks and delivering convenience and peace of mind to Houston shoppers. It's an American art form passed down from generation to generation. As a musician, jazz music provides a lot of room to play, from fusion to big band, smooth jazz, and ragtime. Joining us with a preview of this weekend's Jazz Festival, welcome Frank Lacey, along with Al Campbell and the Summer Jazz Workshop. Good morning.
Thank you.
Al, let me start with you. you, the Bubba Thomas Educational Summer Jazz Workshop.
Yes.
A lot of programs get cut in school. Why is it important for kids to have that outlet that you guys provide?
Well, this outlet, we really don't have time to teach the art of jazz, so Bubba came up with this. This is a 5-week program, and you see Frank Lacey was a project of it, and now, and this is what they grow up to be, and scholarship recipients. So it's a 5-week program where we do intense training, take classes, and rehearse. So it is wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to hear them just a minute here. But yeah, you're a product of this type of thing as well.
Yes, back in the 70s, like 76, 77.
Yeah.
So it's been going on a long time. I think for 45 years or so.
Yes.
You are a role model to a lot of kids, but one of your role models was drummer G.T. Hogan.
Oh yes. He played in New York back in the 40s. Yeah. Bubba Thomas, the late Conrad Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Prof.
Yeah.
So many people who came out of that program. Why is jazz music in particular one that we really need to hold on to?
Well, it's the true American art form.
Yeah.
It's music that was created in America. And actually, scientists and psychologists have proven that practicing and working on jazz brings your IQ up.
Oh, good for your brain. So my son says he's bored, I'm putting a horn in his hand. All right. The Houston Jazz Festival is tomorrow at the House of Blues from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. For more information, log on to greatdayhouston.com and we'll connect you. One lucky member of our studio audience is going home with a pair of tickets. That person is John Blake. There you go, John. Down there tomorrow, I'm going to sing a couple of songs as well. Okay, here's a performance of Midnight Voyage by the Bubba Thomas Educational Summer Jazz Workshop featuring Frank Lacey. And one more time, here is Al Campbell in the Summer Jazz Workshop featuring Frank Lacey. Have a great day, everybody.